The Illuminati has been one of the world's most talked about conspiracy theories for a very long time. It seems like every major social or political issue today somehow gets linked back to them. Everything is their fault. They're often described as a secret group of global elites, ruling from the shadows, pulling the strings behind world events, all in the name of total power. But, is that really true? Is the Illuminati just a conspiracy theory? Or did they actually exist? The word Illuminati comes from the Latin illuminatus, which means enlightened. This idea first appeared around the 15th century, and its meaning has stayed relatively consistent throughout time. In general, Illuminati refers to a group of people who believe they've achieved some form of higher enlightenment, whether through divine connection or superior intelligence. Back in 1422, the Rosicrucians claimed to possess secret and ancient occult knowledge. In 16th and 17th century Spain, a group called the Alumbrados believed the human soul could communicate directly with the Holy Spirit, which they referred to as the light. And in 1776, a Bavarian professor founded a secret society called the Perfectibilists, a group that sought to replace Christianity with the religion of reason, communicating only through secret codes. Now, these small groups were quite different from the modern image of the Illuminati, that mysterious global cabal controlling the world from the shadows. Unlike today's conspiracy theories built mostly on rumors, the original Illuminati actually existed, and their history was recorded. In this video, we'll explore the real history of the Illuminati, the modern conspiracy theories surrounding them, and the psychology behind why so many people believe in conspiracies like these in the first place. The early followers of the Illuminati believed they had received something known as the light, a direct form of communication with a higher power, or perhaps an awakening of human intelligence to a higher state of understanding. The first group known by this idea was called the Alumbrados, a Spanish word meaning the enlightened ones. Spanish historian Marcelino Menéndez y Pelayo first identified the term around 1492 and linked it to the teachings of the Gnostics, ancient mystical religions from the Hellenistic and early Christian eras. Marcelino believed this concept was brought from Italy to Spain. One of the most famous figures associated with the Alumbrados was Maria de Santo Domingo, known as La Beata de Piedrahita. She was born around 1485 in Aldeanueva, near Salamanca, Spain. From a young age, Maria showed deep spiritual devotion, eventually joining the Dominican order as a teenager, a group known for its commitment to education, preaching, and contemplative life. She was believed to have the ability to communicate directly with spiritual entities, including Jesus Christ and the Virgin Mary. Her intense visions and divine experiences made her famous as both a prophet and a mystic. But her fame came with controversy. At that time, such claims often drew suspicion from the Catholic Church. King Ferdinand of Aragon, one of Spain's most powerful rulers, invited Maria to his court after hearing of her visions. He was convinced of her spiritual authenticity, giving her political protection from the Inquisition, which was actively investigating any religious deviations from church doctrine. The Dominican order even appealed to Pope Julius II for guidance regarding her case, showing how significant Maria's situation had become. Eventually, the Inquisition held a series of trials, a critical moment that could have ended with severe punishment. But thanks to the support of King Ferdinand and other influential figures like Cardinal Francisco Jiménez de Cisneros and the Duke of Alba, Maria was acquitted of all charges in 1510. Her story reflects not only the influence she held but also the political power religious figures could wield in that era. Even Saint Ignatius of Loyola, who studied in Salamanca in 1527, was accused of sympathizing with the Alumbrados, though he escaped with only a warning. Meanwhile, in 1529, several less educated followers in Toledo were imprisoned and punished. For nearly a century, the Inquisition maintained strict oversight, and many who were labeled as Alumbrados in regions like Córdoba were eventually persecuted. A related movement known as the Illuminas spread from Seville, Spain, to France around 1623. It gained followers in Picardy by 1634 through a priest named Pierre Guérin, pastor of Saint Georges de Royer. His followers, called the Garanets, believed that direct spiritual experience was more important than obedience to church authority, a view that quickly drew opposition from the Catholic hierarchy. By 1635, the movement was suppressed, marking yet another clash between mystical freedom and orthodox control. Another Illuminati group emerged in southern France around 1722 and lasted until about 1794. They were connected to the French Prophets, a faction of the Camisards, militant Protestants from the Cévennes region known for resisting religious persecution under King Louis XIV. The French prophets claimed to receive divine revelations, leading their people in spiritual and political resistance. Around this same period, another esoteric order began to rise, the Rosicrucians or Order of the Rosy Cross. They claimed to date back to 1422 but only became publicly known around 1537. The Rosicrucians combined elements of Egyptian Hermeticism, Christian Gnosticism, Jewish Kabbalah, alchemy, and various occult traditions, forming a unique spiritual synthesis. Their first official document, Fama Fraternitatis, published in 1614, told the story of Christian Rosenkreuz, the founder of the order. He was said to have traveled to Damascus, a legendary city called Damkar, Egypt, and Fez, where he learned the secrets of hidden wisdom. Upon returning to Germany, Rosenkreuz founded the order with 3 others, later expanding to 8 members. Each member was sent to a different country to spread the teachings, all while keeping the brotherhood secret for 100 years. According to legend, 120 years later, members discovered the founder's tomb, perfectly preserved, before resealing it and losing its location forever. The Fama Fraternitatis ended with an open invitation for certain individuals to join the brotherhood. Famous figures often linked to the Rosicrucians include Michael Mayer, a German alchemist, Robert Fludd, an English physician, and Sir Francis Bacon, the English philosopher and statesman, all of whom explored esoteric and occult themes similar to Rosicrucian ideals. But among all these groups, one stood apart, a movement that took a far more rational, philosophical approach, yet still challenged the church. And this was the group that would later shape the foundation of the modern Illuminati conspiracy theory. The Bavarian Illuminati, founded by Adam Weishaupt, a professor of law. Adam Weishaupt was born in 1748 in Ingolstadt, a city in the electorate of Bavaria, part of what we now know as modern Germany. He lost his parents at a young age and was raised by his uncle, a highly educated man who took great care in his upbringing. His uncle enrolled him in Jesuit schools, where Adam received a strict religious education. After completing his studies, Weishaupt pursued an academic career and became a professor of natural and canon law at the University of Ingolstadt. During this time, he married and started a family. Even as a child, Adam Weishaupt had a restless mind. He was deeply curious and spent hours reading, especially the works of the French Enlightenment philosophers he found in his uncle's library. At that time, Bavaria was deeply conservative, upholding strong Catholic traditions and monarchic values. But Weishaupt, like many thinkers of the Enlightenment era, believed that the monarchy and the church had suppressed free thought for too long. His critical views toward traditional authority, both royal and religious, reveal a man who sought reform, progress, and intellectual freedom. The combination of a rigorous Jesuit education and exposure to Enlightenment ideas shaped his worldview, and laid the foundation for what would later become one of the most controversial movements in modern history. Weishaupt came to believe that religion was no longer a sufficient system to guide modern society. Instead, he sought a new form of illumination, a set of ideas and practices that could radically transform how European nations were governed. He saw the Church's rigid doctrines as a way to control and limit human potential. Around this same period, Freemasonry was spreading rapidly across Europe, offering a sense of community, equality, and intellectual freedom for independent thinkers. Initially, Weishaupt considered joining the Freemasons, but he soon became disillusioned, feeling that their ideas were too symbolic and lacked the real philosophical depth he sought. He became increasingly fascinated by esoteric writings, such as the Mysteries of the Seven Sages of Memphis, which explored ancient wisdom and hidden knowledge. Eventually, Weishaupt decided to create a new secret order of his own, one that would truly embody the principles of enlightenment, reason, and liberation. And that order would come to be known as the Illuminati. Weishaupt didn't reject religion itself, he opposed the way it was practiced and imposed. In his writings, he envisioned freedom from religious dogma, a world where virtue and knowledge would uplift humanity toward universal happiness and moral equality. He believed this could only be achieved by creating a society free from the chains of hierarchy, a place without rigid class divisions, social subordination, or the domination of wealth and power. In essence, his philosophy reflected the Enlightenment's greatest dream, a world guided by reason, equality, and truth, not superstition or fear. But before we explore Weishaupt's Illuminati itself, we first need to understand the world he was inspired by, the Freemasons, the secret fraternity he once tried, and failed, to join. When most of us hear the word Freemason, we tend to imagine a global brotherhood, a secret society of wealthy men performing mysterious rituals and greeting each other with coded handshakes. Those who belong to this enigmatic network believe in a higher power and share a deep bond of loyalty, secrecy, and mutual protection. Whenever they gather in their lodges, their meetings are strictly confidential. What happens inside the lodge stays inside the lodge. But in truth, the Freemasons are primarily a fraternal organization, one that binds its members through shared principles and traditions. Their secrets are not sinister plots, but rather internal rituals and codes of conduct, much like the confidential procedures found in modern corporations or private associations. And contrary to popular conspiracy theories, Freemasonry is not involved in unethical or illegal activities. In fact, the organization's roots go back to the guilds of stonemasons and cathedral builders in medieval England, associations of highly skilled craftsmen. The earliest references to Freemasonry appear in 13th-century documents written in Latin or Norman French. The word free in Freemasonry signified that these masons were not bound by feudal obligations. They were free craftsmen, independent and respected for their skill. Training for a master mason began in childhood and continued through years of hands-on apprenticeship during adolescence. By the time they achieved the rank of master mason, they had earned great respect in society and were considered men of honor and expertise. As Europe evolved through the 17th and 18th centuries, these traditions gradually transformed into what we now know as modern Freemasonry. Members began to focus less on stonework and more on philosophy, spirituality, and moral values, all rooted in ancient allegories like the building of King Solomon's Temple. Over 100 early manuscripts record the traditions and codes of Freemasonry, their constitutions, ethical rules, and symbolic lessons. And in 1717, the first Grand Lodge was established in England, inspiring the creation of more lodges across Europe. Freemasonry was never intended to be a religion. In fact, it often clashed with the Roman Catholic Church. Freemasons believed that discussions about religion and politics should be kept out of their official meetings, which led to disagreements and even divisions among different lodges. To be a Freemason meant to commit to a way of life guided by 5 core principles: continuous self-improvement, intellectually, morally, and spiritually; brotherhood, based on equality and mutual support; charity and service, contributing to the betterment of the wider community; discipline and ethics, reinforced through ritual and moral conduct; the pursuit of truth, through open dialogue and a deeper understanding of life and the universe. These ideals were remarkably similar to those held by Adam Weishaupt, the man who would later found the Illuminati. He initially believed that by joining the Freemasons, he could strengthen and spread the values he believed in: reason, equality, and enlightenment. However, Weishaupt soon grew dissatisfied with several aspects of the organization. First, its strict hierarchy and exclusivity. He saw Freemasonry as too closed off, too elitist, and not truly committed to reforming society. Second, the high cost of membership, which he felt excluded many passionate but less wealthy thinkers. And third, the overly symbolic rituals and dogmas, which he believed did little to achieve real, tangible progress. Weishaupt wanted something more direct, a movement grounded in logic and purpose, capable of bringing social and political transformation to Europe. And from that vision, the Illuminati was born. The Illuminati was founded in 1776, in the city of Ingolstadt, Bavaria, as a secret order with one ambitious goal: to create global change and design a new world order. Under the leadership of Adam Weishaupt, their mission was bold: to challenge the authority of the Catholic Church, and to diminish the influence of religion and monarchy, which they saw as obstacles to human progress and civilization. At its core, the Illuminati stood for absolute equality, social brotherhood, and freedom through reason. But interestingly, the earliest version of the Illuminati wasn't anti-religious at all. In fact, their predecessors once worshipped religion itself, even while opposing Catholic power. Over time, however, Weishaupt's philosophy evolved. He sought to replace religion entirely with logic, science, and human rationality. He believed that the Church's control over knowledge and power had to end, and that true enlightenment could only come when humanity followed reason instead of faith. And he knew how to achieve it, by building a secret order that would infiltrate positions of influence, guiding society quietly from the shadows. Interestingly, the 19th-century French philosopher Auguste Comte later echoed this same vision. His concept of a religion of humanity, based on science and social progress, carried the same spirit of reform that the Illuminati once held. During the Dark Ages, decisions about governance and law across Europe weren't made for the people, but for the Church. For centuries, Catholic authority dictated every aspect of civic life, suppressing independent thought. The perfect symbol of this control was Galileo Galilei, condemned and imprisoned for life for daring to claim that Earth revolved around the Sun. His crime was simply that his discoveries contradicted the Bible. Yet from the ashes of that oppression rose a new era, the Age of Enlightenment. It was a time when rationalism, science, and the rights of the individual began to reshape human thought. In this changing world, Weishaupt saw his chance. At first, his group was small, made up of his own students. He had to hide his ideals while teaching at Jesuit schools, where surveillance was strict and everyone was encouraged to report one another. The Jesuits' political ambitions eventually led to their downfall, when in 1773, the Pope officially dissolved their order. This opened a path for Weishaupt. With the Jesuits expelled, he became professor of canon law at the University of Ingolstadt, and decided to use his position to change the world. But even after their expulsion, Jesuits still held enormous financial and political influence within the university. They continued to pressure and censor liberal professors, especially those whose teachings seemed too Protestant or too modern. This pushed Weishaupt over the edge. He became fiercely anti-clerical and decided to form a secret society dedicated to spreading Enlightenment values, reason, knowledge, and liberty. On May 1, 1776, Weishaupt and 4 of his students founded the Perfectibilisten, or the Perfectibilists, a name symbolizing the belief that human perfection could be achieved through rational thought and scientific progress. Later, they changed their name to something far more mysterious, the Illuminati, meaning the Enlightened Ones. The name itself was inspired by a mystical Catholic sect from Spain in the 1500s. Their chosen symbol was the owl, the ancient emblem of wisdom and knowledge in Western mythology. It represented their ideals: enlightenment, intelligence, and the courage to question dogma. As a radical Enlightenment movement, the Illuminati positioned themselves as more daring and progressive than any other intellectual society of the time. Every member swore a strict oath of secrecy. Though many secret groups have claimed the same name over the centuries, the Bavarian Illuminati remains the most famous and the most misunderstood. From Ingolstadt, Weishaupt slowly expanded his order to other cities, Eichstätt, Freising, Munich, and beyond. One of his key allies was Baron Adolf Nigg, a Freemason who helped merge Masonic structure and ritual into the Illuminati. With his help, membership exploded, and by 1784, the Illuminati counted over 600 members, including influential scholars, writers, and politicians. Around the same time, the American Revolution was in full swing. Thinkers like Thomas Jefferson even praised Weishaupt's ideas, calling him an inspiration. But monarchs and clergy across Europe were terrified. They feared that the Illuminati would spark similar revolutions in their own lands. By then, the organization's existence had become an open secret. Among those rumored to be members were Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, Johann Gottfried Herder, Johann Bode, Friedrich Nicolai, Friedrich Jacobi, and Friedrich Leopold. Whether they truly joined or not, their association fueled endless speculation, and the myth only grew stronger. The Illuminati's structure evolved into a complex hierarchy of 13 initiation degrees, divided into 3 main classes. Each level brought more knowledge, responsibility, and secrecy. Even the members' names were coded. Adam Weishaupt, for instance, went by the alias Spartacus. These aliases added mystery and helped protect their identities, creating the aura of secrecy that would define the Illuminati's legend for centuries to come. By the late 1780s, the Illuminati were believed to have between 2,000 to 3,000 members spread across Europe. They had become one of the most influential underground movements of their time. But power always breeds conflict. Weishaupt became increasingly controlling, trying to take over more Masonic lodges and enforce rigid rules. Internal divisions deepened, especially between him and Baron Nig. Rumors spread, letters leaked, and the Bavarian government took notice. In 1784, Duke Karl Theodor of Bavaria issued a decree banning all secret societies not approved by the state, a direct attack on the Illuminati. At first, members believed the order could survive underground, but by 1785, a second decree made the ban explicit. The Illuminati were now officially outlawed. Police raided homes, seized documents, and arrested members suspected of subversion. Weishaupt lost his university position and was forced to flee Bavaria. He eventually settled in Gotha, Saxony, where he continued writing about philosophy and the ideals of the Illuminati until his death in his 80s. His ideas lived on, inspiring countless stories and works of fiction, from Angels and Demons by Dan Brown to Foucault's Pendulum by Umberto Eco. Although the Illuminati as an organization was destroyed, its myth never died. To this day, Weishaupt's dream of rationalism and enlightenment is both admired and feared. Over time, conspiracy theories transformed the Illuminati into something far darker, a global elite secretly controlling world events, symbolized by the all-seeing eye atop the pyramid. The eye, once a symbol of divine wisdom, became the so-called Eye of Lucifer, watching everything, representing total surveillance and control. The pyramid came to signify hierarchy, with the global elite at the top, organizations in the middle, and the common people at the base. Even the owl, once the emblem of knowledge, was twisted into a symbol of domination. And so, every major mystery, from pandemics to political conflicts, became linked, rightly or wrongly, to this secret order. Whether it's COVID-19, global wars, social movements, or the so-called New World Order, the Illuminati name remains at the center of modern myth. From a small secret group of philosophers in Bavaria, to the most infamous symbol of hidden power in the world, the legacy of the Illuminati continues to cast its shadow, even centuries after it disappeared. By the 1960s, fascists believed that the Illuminati were Jewish financiers secretly controlling the world. After World War II, anti-communists claimed the Illuminati were communists doing the exact same thing, manipulating world governments from behind the scenes. And in more recent times, the theory has shifted once again. Now, many believe that the Illuminati are part of something far bigger, the so-called New World Order. In conspiracy circles, the New World Order is described as a shadowy group trying to establish a single totalitarian world government, one that dictates every aspect of human life. Even former U.S. President George H.W. Bush once mentioned the term New World Order in a speech, and ever since, countless theories have exploded across the world, ranging from absurd to completely insane. The first theory claims that the New World Order is made up of the U.S. government, the United Nations, and various global organizations that secretly push international agendas. According to this idea, their goal is to strip people of their rights and place non-members into FEMA-run camps, creating a powerful one-world regime. The second theory gets even stranger. It claims that world leaders are actually shape-shifting alien sorcerers. Yes, reptilian beings who disguise themselves as humans, feed on human flesh, and occasionally demand human sacrifices. The third theory ties the New World Order to the Antichrist, claiming that the Illuminati are a satanic cult that literally worships the devil. And the fourth theory insists that the Illuminati assassinate famous figures, replacing them with clones used to brainwash society. Public fascination with the Illuminati skyrocketed after the release of the Illuminatus trilogy by Robert Shea and Robert Anton Wilson. That novel portrayed the Illuminati as the ultimate puppet masters, manipulating key world events and shaping the course of human civilization itself. Since then, authors like Mark Dice, David Icke, Tex Mars, Ryan Burke, Yuri Lina, and Morgan Grikar have all kept the myth alive, promoting conspiracy theories that link the Illuminati to nearly every major event in modern history. One of the most vocal figures in this movement was Myron Fagan, a major name in early conspiracy circles. Before his death in 1972, Fagan claimed to have uncovered evidence connecting the Illuminati to historical milestones, from the Battle of Waterloo to the French Revolution, and even the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. But the truth is, these theories are not backed by credible evidence. They're built on wild speculation, fueled by people who prefer shortcuts over research and emotion over reason. Most conspiracy theories rely on extreme assumptions and distorted interpretations. That's why they're frequently criticized by historians and scientists alike. Even Thomas Jefferson, one of America's founding fathers, saw Adam Weishaupt, the founder of the Illuminati, in a very different light. In a letter to James Madison dated January 31, 1800, Jefferson wrote that while he didn't fully agree with secret organizations, he considered Weishaupt to be a good philanthropist and possibly a patriot. Jefferson focused on the positive potential of Weishaupt's ideas, believing they could help restore the natural spirit of religion and promote morality through reason. In 1787, Weishaupt himself published a book responding to the accusations against him and the Illuminati. In it, he explained that the group's true goal was to educate its members in humanity and morality, and that their teachings were founded on the supremacy of reason. He emphasized that the Illuminati never forced anyone to act against their will, but sought to raise individuals to higher levels of understanding and moral awareness. Weishaupt even admitted that if members could someday hold positions of political power, they could better promote their mission of moral and humanitarian education. His writings painted the Illuminati not as villains, but as idealists seeking enlightenment and ethical reform. Yet today, when we hear the word Illuminati, we immediately think of shadowy power, global control, and evil intent. But the historical truth tells a very different story. By the late 1780s, the Bavarian Illuminati had already disbanded. And there is no credible evidence that the organization survived beyond that point. So the real question is, how did something so clearly disproven become one of the most widely believed conspiracies in modern history? Is it just a kind of social delusion? A product of a world that refuses to think deeply? One that seeks easy explanations and a single villain to blame for every problem humanity faces? Maybe, in the end, the Illuminati we fear isn't a group that secretly rules the world, but a reflection of something much closer, our own need to find order in chaos, and someone to blame for the things we can't understand. Conspiracy theories like the Illuminati often offer a simple way to explain the complex, and sometimes chaotic, realities of our world. When people face global crises, economic collapses, or massive political changes, it can feel easier to believe that a secret group is pulling the strings, rather than accepting that most events happen because of countless interacting factors, many of them random and unpredictable. For some, theories like the Illuminati provide a sense of control and understanding in a world that feels uncertain. By pointing to a single source of blame, people can temporarily ease their fears about the future. It's comforting to think there's a group behind all of this, rather than facing the truth that chaos might simply be chaos. This psychology is similar to ancient mythology, where humans blamed demons or evil spirits for wrongdoing, refusing to recognize their own capacity for evil. Because it's much easier for the human mind to believe that the devil made me do it, than to confront the fact that we, ourselves, are capable of terrible things. Conspiracy theories also build a sense of belonging. People who share the same beliefs often form communities that validate and reinforce each other's worldviews. But this can also be dangerous, because focusing too much on such theories, much like superstition, can breed distrust toward legitimate institutions and prevent constructive dialogue about real-world solutions. In a 2017 study by psychologists Douglas and Kang, conspiracy beliefs were explained as part of a deep epistemic need, a human drive to find stable, consistent explanations for confusing events. Even when evidence is lacking, the mind craves patterns, and conspiracy theories satisfy that craving. These theories are often speculative, complex, and unfalsifiable. They claim that the conspirators hide behind disguises and misinformation, meaning that anyone trying to disprove them must, ironically, be part of the conspiracy too. This makes such theories self-sealing, impossible to refute, no matter what evidence is presented. By contrast, explanations that are empirically supported, logically simple, and verifiable are far more reliable by scientific standards. But conspiracy theories feel more emotionally satisfying. They offer internal consistency and a sense of coherence, even when reality is uncertain. Research shows that belief in conspiracies grows stronger when people's motivation to find patterns is heightened, especially among those who habitually search for meaning in randomness or believe in paranormal phenomena. Conspiracy theories can satisfy certain psychological needs, but often at the cost of accuracy. People who lack the ability or motivation to think critically may not recognize these flaws. In fact, studies have shown that belief in conspiracy theories correlates with lower analytical thinking and lower levels of education. Beyond curiosity, these theories also fulfill existential needs, the human desire to feel safe and in control. Research supports this. People tend to turn to conspiracy theories when they feel anxious, powerless, or threatened. There are social motivations too. By blaming powerful others for negative outcomes, believers can preserve a positive image of themselves and their groups. But while conspiracy theories might make people feel connected or validated, they rarely offer real empowerment. Instead, they often promote distrust, cynicism, and alienation, reinforcing the very sense of powerlessness that led people to believe in them in the first place. In short, belief in conspiracy theories arises from a mix of motivations: a lack of reliable information, limited cognitive ability, and low motivation for critical thinking, all intertwined with deep emotional and social needs. So perhaps, in the end, conspiracy theories are not just products of misinformation, but ironic reflections of our own human nature. Our desperate need to find meaning in chaos, and our unwillingness to face uncertainty without someone to blame. Starting around 1687, Europe began to experience a massive shift in the relationship between the Catholic Church and the state. By 1787, the Age of Enlightenment had become the defining era of European civilization, marked by four core elements: capitalism, individualism, rationality, and technological progress. It was during this period that the Illuminati movement emerged, a reaction to the rapidly changing social and political consciousness of the time. The Enlightenment brought a revolution in human thought, championing reason, science, and the rights of the individual. Advances in technology and the growth of capitalism fueled social and economic transformation across Europe. The Illuminati, at its core, reflected a spirit of resistance against the dominance of the Catholic Church, while embracing Enlightenment values such as logic, knowledge, and freedom of thought. Adam Weishaupt stated that the original goal of the Illuminati was to achieve the highest moral and ethical standards through education and humanistic values, to fight against superstition, ignorance, and the abuse of power. The rise of the Illuminati took place in an era when thinkers sought social and political reform and challenged excessive religious influence. And while it's nearly impossible to prove that something doesn't exist, all available historical evidence suggests that the modern-day Illuminati is nothing more than a conspiracy theory. And if it truly does exist, then it must be very good at hiding, because no one has ever found it. In the end, what matters most is that we continue to think rationally, to live with logic, not comfort, to seek truth, not easy answers. Thank you.